Watch Kigali residents throw stones at Kagame's security forces. Before I say anything, watch this video carefully. What you have just seen happened in Kigali, Rwanda. You can see security personnel taking a woman and putting her into their vehicle. But what caught my attention wasn't just the arrest. What caught my attention was the reaction of the people around them. People became angry. Some members of the crowd started throwing stones toward the security personnel and their vehicle. And when I watched this video, one question immediately came to my mind. Is something changing in Rwanda? Could this be one isolated confrontation? Or are we beginning to see signs of deeper frustration among ordinary Rwandans? Because Rwanda is a country where scenes like this deserve attention. For years, Paul Kagame's government has built an international image of Rwanda as one of Africa's great success stories. We hear about Kigali's clean streets. We hear about modern buildings. We hear about conferences, hotels, tourism, technology, stadiums, and infrastructure. And when foreign visitors arrive in Kigali, many see an organized and remarkably clean African capital. But development cannot be limited to what a visitor sees from the window of a car. The life of the ordinary citizen must also measure development. Can people make a living? Can people feed their families? Can young people find meaningful opportunities? Can a street vendor earn enough money to survive without constantly fearing confrontation with authorities? Can citizens criticize government policies? Can people peacefully express frustration? And perhaps most importantly, do ordinary people feel that the system works for them? Those questions matter. Because you can build beautiful roads. You can build hotels. You can build stadiums. You can build conference centers. You can promote Rwanda around the world. But if ordinary people don't feel economically secure, politically heard, or fairly treated, frustration can build beneath that beautiful image. That's why this video caught my attention. I'm not saying that this single incident represents every Rwandan. I'm not saying that everybody in Kigali supports what happened. And I'm certainly not saying that one video proves Rwanda is heading toward a revolution. That would be irresponsible. But I'm asking a question. What makes ordinary citizens reach the point where they are willing to confront security personnel publicly? Think about the risk involved. This is Rwanda. People understand the power of the state. They understand the consequences of openly challenging authorities. So when you see people apparently losing their fear, even for a few moments, I think that deserves analysis. And it brings me to a historical question. In 1959, Rwanda experienced a social and political revolution that completely transformed the country's political order. Of course, Rwanda in 2026 is not Rwanda in 1959. The circumstances are different. The political institutions are different. The economy is different. The region is different. And history does not simply repeat itself. So we should not look at this video and announce that another 1959 is coming. But history does teach us something important. Political systems can sometimes appear extremely stable from the outside, while frustration is accumulating underneath. And this is not something unique to Rwanda. We have seen it in countries around the world. A government may have strong institutions. It may have powerful security forces. It may control the political environment. It may have international support. And yet none of those things automatically tells you what ordinary citizens are thinking privately. That is why I believe Rwanda's development story should be discussed beyond Kigali's skyline. A country's greatest resource is its people. If people cannot participate meaningfully in the economy, eventually you have a problem. If young people cannot imagine a better future, you have a problem. If citizens believe that they cannot peacefully express disagreement, you have a problem. And if the only way to maintain stability is through fear and enforcement, then you have to ask how sustainable that stability really is. Real stability should not mean that everybody is silent. Real stability should mean that people have confidence in their institutions. It should mean that citizens have peaceful mechanisms for resolving disputes. It should mean that government officials are accountable. It should mean that people can disagree without becoming enemies of the state. And real development should reach the person selling vegetables in the market, the young graduate looking for work, the mother trying to feed her children, and the small entrepreneur trying to build a business. That's the Rwanda I want us to discuss. Not simply the Rwanda shown in promotional videos. Not simply the Rwanda described by supporters of Kagame. And not simply the Rwanda described by Kagame's opponents either. We need to look at what is actually happening on the ground. And that's why videos like this are worth examining carefully. Again, I want to emphasize something. I'm not encouraging throwing stones. Political change should be peaceful. Violence can quickly create victims among ordinary citizens, security personnel, and innocent bystanders. For me, the important part of this video is not the stones themselves. It is the apparent loss of fear that the confrontation may represent. That's what I am watching. Because governments can control institutions. They can control political space. They can control security structures. But controlling public frustration indefinitely is much more difficult. So I want to leave you with this question. Is what happened here simply an isolated incident in Kigali? Or does this video reveal something deeper about the relationship between ordinary Rwandans and the authorities? And could Rwanda eventually experience a major political transformation comparable, not necessarily in form, but in historical importance, to what happened in 1959? I don't know. One video cannot answer that question. But it is a question worth asking. Watch Rwanda carefully, and especially watch the ordinary people. Because ultimately, Rwanda's future will not be determined by beautiful buildings, international conferences, or public relations campaigns. The Rwandan people themselves will determine it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Is this just an isolated incident? Or are we witnessing signs of deeper frustration inside Rwanda? This is Rwanda Digest. Thank you for watching.